What's happening? Big Shay reporting for duty. Welcoming you back to another episode of the Yellow Cafe podcast. And this morning, what I would like to speak on is just an idea of giving flowers. I've kind of had an idea of this. I just didn't know how I wanted to do it, how I wanted to go about doing it. I did a video some time back about my big brother Rock Sinclair, and that kind of sparked an idea of how to really present, this idea of giving flowers to the world as well, because I saw like the effect of that, the result of that, and I saw how it felt once it was done, how it looked, you know what I mean? It was a good look just in terms of being able to speak the great things that people have done before it's too late. Like way too many times we just see too many people, once someone passes, just talking about how great an individual was, how much they love or loved a particular individual. And although a lot of that is true, a lot of that is genuine, a lot of it sometimes isn't. Or a lot of times it could be mistaken as disingenuous because you're just caught up in the wave of all types of other people who were doing the same thing at the same point in time. So what I say is, before something happens to someone, we should give them their flowers. Now, in this particular instance, there's 3 individuals that I'm speaking on, although 2 of them have passed. And so, my focus is not primarily just going to be on the one living from the group, but still, giving flowers to those who passed, even though it should have been something done before that. So first thing I want to say is I don't want to get this confused as just taking an opportunity to, a lot of people, I'm not talking about public figures who are famous in terms of to the world, but these people were famous to my community. You get what I'm saying? People in my community, in my neighborhood, know these individuals and respect these individuals. So I don't ever want to get it confused as though how you always see someone who passes and then people take that as an opportunity to try to get content off of them or from them or views or something like that. Like, I don't ever want to get this twisted as something disgusting like that. But the fact of the matter is, I talk a lot. And it just so happens to be one of my hobbies, this podcast, in which I speak on things that are heartfelt and close to my chest and supposed to be culturally relevant to my community and to my people. So some people may think that it's wrong for me to speak on this right now. But being that I just got the news yesterday, I feel it would be wrong for me not to speak on it, knowing that I talk. Anyone who knows me knows I run my mouth. I talk all the time about things that I feel are important. So why would I not speak about my brothers who are important to me? This is heartfelt to me. This is close to the chest to me. So I don't even know where to start with this, but I'll start with the first one that passed. These 3 individuals I have known for sure since high school. Potentially all 3 since middle school. But I know for sure AJ I have known since Woodmere Elementary and kindergarten. So I'll speak on Chris first, Big Chris. That came out the blue when his brother passed, and it was, health related. That was just shocking just due to the age. You know what I mean? He was a young man. Eddie, AJ, and Chris were always known to be together, like brothers, like for real. Like, I commend that. I respect that. I told y'all in my video about the reunion and stuff like that, about the class reunion that I went to. I just love seeing people that were together and hung together and stuck together, like still being together. Still having that camaraderie, still having that loyalty, still having that love. That's rare, bro, because so much foolishness gets in between people nowadays. So I really respect that and commend that. And to see how when Chris passed, how AJ and Eddie held him down, how they repped him still, how they would always post the pictures with him, how they had the pictures with him. That touched my heart, bro. Like, just to see, just to see, like, there's a lot, like, I see a lot of people, a lot of individuals who lose other individuals, but it's the things that could have been avoided. Like, when you lose people in the streets to murder, to things of that nature, when you were involved in those type of things, it's almost like, yeah, you're sad, but there's a certain level to it to where it's like, you can't be sad because you know that these individuals brought these acts upon themselves. And it still hurts. Like, you know, these people brought these things upon themselves, and it still hurts to know that they're gone, because you just think of all of the what ifs. If it could have been avoided, you think about what if they wouldn't have went here that night? What if they wouldn't have did this? What if they wouldn't have did that? Like, there's so many things you think of. But how much more does it hurt when you're talking about individuals who are staying out of the way, being good, clean citizens, minding their business, only concerned about friends and family, only concerned about doing what was right, you know what I'm saying, in their eyes, or you know what I'm saying, in the eyes of their family. Like, how much more when you have young men who are staying out of the way and still have to deal with the pain of death and loss? How much more does that hurt, son? My heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to people who lose people in the streets. But it's kind of like, bro, you weren't saying anything when they were alive. You weren't saying anything to stop their actions when they were alive. So, like, I don't want to hear all that crying now. You weren't saying anything to save their life when they were alive. So why am I supposed to boo-hoo with you now? I hate to say it, but it's like, you got to take it on the chin, homie. You got to take it on the chin. But how much more when we talking about brothers who were staying out of the way? How much more, dog? When they did as much of right as they possibly could in their eyes, and yet their lives are gone. Yet they still have to deal with the loss and the hurt of losing a friend like one of these dudes in the street. That has to hurt, bro. That, you know, words can't change that word. That's why when things happen, when people lose loved ones, you know, I want to speak to let them know I'm there and I love them and I feel for them. But at the same time, I sit there sometimes and I'm like, what can I say, bro? What can I say? There's nothing that could be said. But I remember one of the last conversations. Oh, I ain't gonna say one of the last, but I do remember one of the last few conversations that I had with Chris before he passed. Me and him had got into it and were arguing about religion, because he was trying to come at me and talk to me about some pro-black, some. I'm not gonna say especially it was Rastafari, but it was some of that pro-black stuff that, I do not agree with, promote, condone at all. And I was just letting Chris know in the most humble manner possible, you are wasting your time even speaking to me on this. Do anything besides pure Christianity, Jesus Christ, I don't even want to hear it, bro. And me and him went back and forth for a little bit, back and forth, and he got his info off. I got my info off, and we just went our separate ways. Now, luckily, thank God, we bumped into each other multiple times after that. And we didn't even speak on that stuff. We just let it go for what we know. It was daps and hugs, and we just kept it moving. Because I remember at other times, he was reaching out to me to make beats and stuff like that. He was making beats at one time, I want to say. And I was doing music, I was rapping and stuff like that, and he was reaching out to to possibly collab on some things. We never did anything in that area, but I do remember that as well. But it's just like I said, luckily and thank God, we were able to see each other after that little encounter and exchange of ideas in terms of Christianity. We saw each other and were able to keep it moving, because I do know this, man. I'm not gonna, I don't want that conversation that we had to allow us to not be able to talk to each other moving forward, to not allow us to be able to love one another and be cordial to one another. And thank God he felt the same way, as a man should. So to see when he passed, it was wild, bro. It was unexpected and out the blue. And then we come to yesterday, where I see Eddie post a post that just ripped my heart, son. He says it was 3, then it was 2, then it was 1. And he has a picture of him, Chris, and AJ. Then he has a picture of just him and AJ. Then he just has a picture of him by himself. And I'm like, what? What happened? Like, what are you telling me? Like, I know what I'm reading, I know what I'm seeing, but my brain wasn't comprehending it because I refused to believe it. I'm like, no, son, AJ's birthday was just 4-5 days ago. I told him happy birthday. He loved my comment. He responded in the flesh. Now, what now you telling me the man gone? So I called my dog Jonathan Brown because I know that was like, the only person who I knew who, knows them like that with potential connections or phone numbers on somebody. So I called him. I'm like, bro, you heard what happened? He's shocked, telling me I'm lying, doesn't want to believe it, which I understand. And it's frustrating him because I'm telling him, Eddie just posted it 7 minutes ago. And I saw it on Facebook. Jonathan said, I'm not on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. He logs on Instagram and starts seeing a couple of posts like a couple minutes later. So now he knows it's real. But Jonathan, at first I was composing myself, but the way Jonathan started reacting to it made me start reacting a certain type of way to it and tearing up because I'm really realizing how much I know this man, how much I've been in homeroom with this man since kindergarten. The man's last name is Sloker, mine is Shelton. We've been in kindergarten, we've been in homerooms together since kindergarten, dog. I know this man, bruh. Seeing this man in the flesh. This man is the reason I went to the reunion because I saw him at the corner store a couple of weeks before that and he asked me, jam me up. He was like, whoa, what's happening? Jam me up, daps and hugs. And he's like, man, you going? I was like, man, I probably don't go. He was like, man, I probably don't go either, but I probably go to the little picnic thing on the Sunday after. I'm like, word, you could do that? I'm like, okay. I didn't even know that you could go to partial events. He's the one who really, seeing him was like, you know what? It's almost like, why people always tell you to go to church. You're supposed to be in somebody's church. You feel what I'm saying? Hold up. That's the wife calling me with the baby early in the morning on the way to school. Hold up. My bad, y'all. I thought she was calling me with my baby to talk on the way to school like they usually do. She was asking me about an egg roll that was left on the kitchen table. But look, like I was saying, that's why it's important even to be in somebody's church. You may think like, oh, I don't need to be here. You're thinking about what you don't need to do for yourself. Somebody else needs to see you in there. Somebody needs to see your smile for encouragement. Somebody needs to see you just so you can turn around and say, man, I'm so glad to see you this morning. And now they like, oh, I need to be here to bless somebody else. You have to let someone else know in church how much they bless you just by you seeing them. Here they are worrying about what they struggling with at home, not even understanding they have the power to bless someone else just by their smile and their presence. So when I saw AJ at the store and then thought about the type of people I might see at the reunion, I said, I don't want to miss out on that. The smile he gave me, the love he gave me, the presence he gave me, the spirit he gave me. When seeing him, I said, man, you know what? Let me go back and go get some of that old school loving. You heard me? And I ain't saying that in no way, type of form. And I ain't even gonna say pause on that because I'm speaking as a man. I said, let me go back and get some of that old school loving from my peers that I grew up with, whether it be men or women. Take that how you want. And I ain't no punks. I ain't worried about no funny stuff. You feel me? Real men love other men, man. It hurt me to hear about that with that man, bruh. That hurt me to see Eddie. Eddie, man, we not in our 40s. Eddie got 2 of his ace-boom coons gone. Like, that stuff you do in your 50s and 60s. And see, that's why I always been scared of relationships. Like, because it's a give and take. Life is so funny. It's a give and take. Because, yes, having close friends means you have friends to the end. And friends to really do things with. See, I don't have those experiences and memories with a lot of people because I was always so dolo. But it's like then once you got to lose those friends, the amount of joy you had, now that pain is riveting. You understand? But is it worth it? Yes. I always heard and always believed it's better to love and have lost than never to love at all. I believe that. But it's the price you pay. And just for that, man, and you know, people sign up for it because they're willing to pay that price. But that man isn't supposed to have to pay that price this early in life, man. You know what I mean? So I'm making it sad right now. That's bad. That's bad. I gotta chill out. Because I know it's not supposed to be sad. But I saw someone commenting on AJ about how he was the sweetest out of the group. And me as a man, I don't take any offense to calling that man sweet. And I don't think anyone else should at all, because AJ was sweet. He was made and conducted himself in the image and the manner that God created men to be. He was a loving, sweet, kind person. You ain't never had to worry about AJ double crossing, no funny stuff, no nothing. Every time you saw AJ, it was daps and hugs and giving you props. AJ still telling me about music that I made in high school, how it was fire and how good of a rapper I was. And, man, it's rare to find men that are always willing to uplift you. And I'm not saying that I took that and used to run with it or get a big head. I just, cause you know, with the rap, a lot of times he'll be telling me about the rap. I wasn't even trying to rap anymore. But yet the man was still giving me props. I took that for what it was, for the love he gave me. Man, me and this man rolled back to kindergarten, bro. We were Woodmere Wildcats, dog. My earliest memories in life, that man was there. You know? I just feel for Eddie, bro. Eddie, ever since I've known either one of them dudes, they've been cool as a fan. Cooler than the other side of the pillow, man. All three of them. Chris, AJ, and Eddie, bro. I feel for his sister. It's just heartbreaking, man. And then it's a beautiful thing, though, to see the amount of people that knew him and knew who he was and how he was. I'm blessed by that, man. Everybody knew how cool of a man he was. See, I didn't even know about the man and his children and his kids and stuff like that, but the man had children. I know he was a heck of a father. I know he was a heck of a father, because any man that loved him, I know his kids loved him. So I'm not trying to make this a sad thing, a sad occasion, but I'm really, the more I'm thinking about it and talking about it, it's really just blowing me. Like, it's just not fair to Eddie, man. I really just, I pray, Eddie, I prayed for you this morning, bro. Like, I don't know if he's gonna hear this or not. I'm not gonna send it to him, you know what I mean, directly. I would hope that someone else might share it with him or tell him about it. I just don't think that that's proper. Just at this point in time, like, the man just broke the news yesterday. So I'm recording this because it's fresh. I want it to be fresh, but I just don't think it's proper to just send him this, you know, as if it's just something to play with, even though I'm not playing with it. But that just doesn't seem proper to me. But I would hope at one point he would hear this, just so he could know, dog, like, that everybody knows how good of men you all are and were. And we got to really wrap our arms around Eddie, bro, because now, you know, this man lost his partners like that. Like, they not involved in the streets. It's not like they around here repping gang, and his partners got shot and he got to deal with. No, man, it's all health related. Well, from what I know for sure. I don't even know for sure what happened. But with AJ, I am quite sure, you understand, there was no foolishness involved whatsoever. I'm quite sure that was health related. You know what I mean? So, you know, we just had to be there for each other. You know what I'm saying? I have a funeral to go to tomorrow for a neighbor down the street. People I've known my whole life, my whole childhood. Their grandmother passed. It's just like, you know, we have to be there for each other, man. But I just want to give these dudes their flowers in terms of how beautiful of people that they are. Eddie, we go back to playing ball at King's Grant, son. AJ, I want to say AJ was out there too. Chris might have been out there too. I don't remember. But I do remember Eddie being out there, because Eddie would get a little feisty. I remember fighting for the ball with Eddie. No, that was somebody else. But Eddie would be out there. Eddie was hustling. I remember Eddie being on that basketball court, especially at Kings Grant. The whole man, we were in there. Man. It's just so crazy, the whole sentiments that I gave about the reunion and being in people's lives and keeping in contact with people. And now here it is, we lose AJ. You know what I'm saying? And he was reaching out to me talking about how we should podcast. We should do some stuff together. We should talk, me, you, Jonathan. We should get together, do some things. I was like, yeah, let's just get some, some content. Hold up, this the call for my baby this time. Well, look, I'm gonna just wrap it up, y'all. With that being said, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was gonna end it, but let me wrap up. I just had to take that call right quick. My wife calling with my baby on the way to school. Yeah, man, I just want to commend the three of those guys, just for their friendship, for their loyalty, for that is a display of manhood. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we get these false displays of manhood that we're taught, like, this is what manhood looks like. And it's like, nah, bro, like, that's what manhood looks like. Being real friends, being real fathers, and being people that, are examples to where once you're gone, look at the love these individuals are getting. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone knows their reputation as good dudes. And so once again, I just want to say, like, as a community, we just really need to wrap our arms around Eddie. Let him know he's not alone. Like, we're here for him. If new bonds have to be made, we know that none of us could ever replace Chris or AJ in his eyes. You feel me? We know that. Nor could we ever try to. But, if new bonds can be formed, brotherhoods, you know what I'm saying? That's necessary and that's needed. And that'll be good for all of us. You know what I mean? So y'all just make sure to keep Eddie in y'all's prayers, AJ's families, and Chris' families at all times. You know what I'm saying? As much as you possibly could, just to keep them in your prayers, because the people that hurt, the smallest things that you don't even know about triggers people to remind them of things and put them in, bad moods and different little funks. You know what I'm saying? And that's just why sometimes you just never know what's going on in somebody's life. So just let's be more compassionate, be more kind, and be more sweet, you know what I'm saying? Like our dog AJ. So with that being said, until next time, one.